Hi everybody, this is Michael McDermott, and I would like to share with you a thought today about the story of the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. It's so interesting that Moses was faced with the incredibly extreme challenge of looking forward and seeing an impossible situation, the Red Sea, and then looking behind him through the masses of people that he was responsible for and in charge of to see an enemy that was charging towards them to destroy them. And then listening to the people who God had entrusted into his care to be responsible for them to lead them from Egyptian slavery. And these people were full of doubt, fear, unbelief, and challenging the fact that God had even placed them in that position or led them to that particular spot. So many times when we look around at life circumstances, they do not line up with what God has promised temporarily. And sometimes we become fearful and we doubt and we begin to question, God, have you forgotten me? Or God, have you forgotten your promises to me? Or God, do you really intend to do what you said you would do? Even Jesus, the Son of God, God in the flesh, as he hung on the cross, Father, have you forsaken me? So wherever you're at in life right now, you may be faced with an impossible situation like a Red Sea. You may see enemies pursuing you and following after you. And you may be surrounded by people who are discouraging you rather than encouraging you. Remember today that God does not lie, God cannot lie, and God does not say things that he does not intend to do. He loves you so much that he gave his son, and I want to encourage you that he has invested a lot in mankind, and he is so willing to partner with us. He is not willing to lose any, or that any should perish, that any should die. As Moses stood at the Red Sea, surrounded by doubt, unbelief, and fear, and seeing an approaching enemy, his focus was totally on God. His focus was totally on the promise of God. Focus is incredibly important, because when you begin to focus on things that are distracting you from good thoughts, good intentions, and hopeful thoughts and hopeful intentions, then discouragement comes in. And when discouragement comes in, it is so easy to lose sight, to lose your composure. There's a verse in Proverbs that says when you are challenged in certain situations, do not become angry, because composure will give you a great offense. Composure will give you a great offense. I believe it was Vince Lombardi that said, a great offense is your best defense. And so sometimes we need to strategize and place ourselves when we're in difficult situations. Strategize ourselves to be on the offense rather than to be pushed into a corner to defend. God has given you everything, all tools necessary to prosper, to be in good health, and to reproduce in the kingdom of God. And I just want to encourage you today, if you're facing a Red Sea, surrounded by negativity and fearful talking people, and you're being chased or pursued by an enemy, recall the promises that God has made to you, because he is faithful to fulfill those promises. Just trust him. This is Michael McDermott, keeping it real, michaelmcdermott.com.